Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you. I would like to extend the warmest welcome to our keynote speakers, to our paper presenters and participants who are attending here at Southern Hotel. Welcome to the first international conference of Narotama University, a synergy between civil engineering, computer science, and education. Innovations for a sustainable future. And today we will be having 5 prominent keynote speaker from various countries from 3 different fields. Thus, without further ado, let's start the seminar by first listening to our national anthem Indonesia Raya, continued by hymn of Narotama University. Ladies and gentlemen, please arise. We will continue with the hymn of Narotama University. Please bear with us. Narotama tetap Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Next up, to bless our seminar today, I would like to invite Bapak Jazalah to recite a prayer for all of us. The stage is yours, Pak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Izinkan saya memimpin doa dalam tata cara Islam bagi Bapak dan Ibu yang beragama lain. Kami persilahkan berdoa menurut tata cara dan keyakinan Bapak dan Ibu masing-masing. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad kama shallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim fil alamin innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma ighfir lil muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka ala kulli syai'in qadir. Ya Allah, pada hari ini kami bersama menghadiri acara seminar internasional. Engkau berikanlah nikmat dan karunia yang terus pada kami, ya Allah. Ya Allah, berikanlah kelancaran dalam acara ini, ya Allah. Mudah-mudahan kami mendapatkan ilmu yang bermanfaat sebagai bentuk pengabdian kami kepada negara kami, ya Allah. Seraya memohon kepadamu, ya Allah, akan keberkahan dalam acara ini, ya Allah. Jadikanlah pertemuan ini sebagai momentum yang baik, yang tepat untuk meningkatkan kualitas jati diri kami, ya Allah. Bersinergi lebih baik, yang akhirnya menunaikan amanah kita menyelenggarakan pendidikan yang baik dan bermutu. Ya Allah, tiada kesempurnaan dalam doa kami, ya Allah. Maka sempurnakanlah doa kami, ya Allah. Segala pujian bagimu, ya Allah. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this seminar will not be able to be implemented smoothly without a solid cooperation between the committee. And that's why now we will be listening the welcome speech and official opening from our chairman of the seminar committee, Dr. Insinyur Dr. Adi Muhtadi, ST, SAMSI, MT. The stage is yours, Pak.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Rector, Vice Rector 1 and 2 of Narotama University, Head of LPPM, Mr. Dr. Insinyur Sriwibawa Mujanarko, the Dean of Faculty Engineering, Mr. Dr. Insinyur Adi Prawito, the Dean of the Faculty of Computer Science, Mr. Dr. Cahyo Daljati, the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher, Training and Education, Mr. Dr. Sugito Muzaki, all the keynote speakers, presenters, and seminar participants, and the respected guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and peace be upon us all. We express our praise and gratitude to the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the abundance of grace and gift, allowing us to gather today for a very special event, the first international seminar of Narotama University on the theme Synergy of Civil Engineering, Computer Science, and Education, Innovation for a Sustainable Future. On this happy occasion, as the chairman of the organizing committee, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all parties who have supported and contributed to the implementation of this event, especially to the rector, the dean, and the keynote speakers, and the entire communities who have worked hard to ensure the success of this event. The parties who supported this event were ITSC and PT PLN Indonesia Power and the Southern Hotel for the international seminar. We also express our gratitude to the keynote speakers who have taken the time to contribute their thoughts and great ideas for us here. Number one is Mr. Yahya Ado, yeah. SSM Hum from Rumah Solusi Beta Indonesia, Foundation Indonesia. The second is Professor Zlatan Morik from Algebra University Croatia. The third is Professor Dr. Muhammad Fazil Arsyad, UITM Shah Alam Malaysia. The number four is Professor Xu Ming Su from St. John University, Taiwan. And the last is Assistant Professor Martin Zagar from Worcester Institute of Technology, Croatia. Dear guests, this time, the theme of our seminar is very relevant to challenge and opportunities we face this era of globalization. The synergy between civil engineering, computer science, and education is the key to creating sustainable innovation. We realize that infrastructure development, information technology development, and improving the quality of education are the three main pillars of building a better future. This seminar aims to be a forum for academic, researchers, and practitioners and students to share knowledge, experiences, and innovative ideas in civil engineering, computer science, and education. We hope that it will be produce concrete and applicable solution to the existing challenges. I would also like to thank the speakers who have been waiting to attend and share their knowledge with all of us. Your presence is an honor for us, and we are sure that the presentation and discussion that we will witness later will be very beneficial for all of us. Finally, I would like to congratulate all participants on attending the seminar. Hopefully, the seminar can run smoothly and successfully and provide the greatest benefit for all of us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for your attention.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, since we know that this seminar is a synergy between three faculties in Narotama University, and that's why in the next session we will be hearing from each of the deans of the faculty. They will be giving us remarks and highlights regarding the conference. The first I would like to invite from engineering faculty, Dr. Insinyur Adi Prawito MM MTIPM, to give a speech and welcome remark. Please, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Rector, representative by the head LPPM, Dr. Insinyur Sri Wibowo Mujanarko, Dean of Faculty of Computer Science, Mr. Cahyo, Dr. Cahyo, Dean of Faculty Education, and all cannot speak. Mr. Yahya Adu from Rumah Solusi Beta Indonesia Foundation, Sultan Morik, Algebri from Algebri University Croatia, Profesor Dr. Muhammad Fadil Arsad, UTM Shah Alam Malaysia, and I am from my participation from graduate and postgraduate University Narotama. It's real great pleasure that I welcome you all the first University Narotama International Conference, UNICE. This event serves as a platform to exchange ideas, seek knowledge, and explore innovation and civil engineering, computer science, and education. Under the theme Synergy of Civil Engineering, Computer Science and Education, Innovation and Sustainable Future, I would like expensive by sincerely graduated to our distinguished speaker, the organizing committee, and all participation for the dedication in making this event possible. Your presences today reflected a strong committee, academic, and excellences and professional growth. This seminar is a collaboration between the three faculties of engineering, the Faculty Computer Science, and Faculty Education, with the aim in enhancing academic conference among students. For the Faculty Engineering, this event particularly benefits students from the postgraduate, the civil engineering student from the civil engineering and postgraduate, equipping them with a valuable insight and knowledge will support their future career and research. I hope that this first international UNICE will pave the way for future conference with even more relevant and engineering times. My today discussion and presentation inspire all us to contribute the sustainable and innovation advancement in our respective field. Thank you and wish all you successful in Insight Seminar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Here with us today in the venue, representing the Rector, the head of our Research and Community Service Department of Narotama University, and therefore I would like to kindly invite the Honorable Dr. Insinyur Haji Sri Wibowo Mujanarko, STMT IPM, to give a welcome speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sebelumnya saya menyampaikan untuk mewakili Rektor Universitas Narotama yang berhalangan hadir untuk membuka acara First UNICE International Conference. Yang terhormat Bapak Dekan Teknik Sipil, Pak Dr. Adi Prawito, yang terhormat Bapak Dr. Cahyo Darujati, yang terhormat Bapak Sugito Uzagi. Ini untuk pertama kalinya para dekan berkumpul menjadi satu. Kemudian Bapak Ibu sekalian yang hadir di sini dan para narasumber, keynote speaker. Yang pertama Mr. Zlatan Morik dari Algebra University Kroasia. Yang kedua, sahabat saya ini tentunya Profesor Dr. Muhammad Fadil Arsyad dari UITM Sahalam. Yang berikutnya, yang terhormat Profesor Su Ming Su, Mitra Teknik Sipil, Sinchon University Taiwan. Yang terhormat Asisten Profesor Martin Zagar dari Rochester Institute of Technology Kroasia. Dan tentunya yang tak kalah kami hormati Bapak Ibu sekalian, para mahasiswa yang hadir di sini semuanya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Hari ini untuk pertama kalinya Fakultas Teknik Sipil, Teknik Ilmu Komputer dan PAUD menyelenggarakan International Conference secara bersamaan. Mungkin sebelumnya di Narotama telah dilakukan kegiatan yang sama, tetapi mungkin tidak seperti hari ini, di mana ada fakultas non-tekniknya, PAUD. Jadi di Narotama ini banyak yang belum kenal PAUD ini. Pendidikan anak usia dini. Mungkin perlu saya kenalkan supaya populer nih PAUD-nya ini. Silakan Dr. Sugito Musaki ini berdiri nih. Ini berdiri ini. Kalau yang hadir di sini mungkin sudah familiar yang lain ya, Dr. Cahyo Darujati ini. Silakan Pak Cahyo. Mungkin banyak yang nggak kenal Pak Cahyo. Nanti kalau dapat proyek supaya gampang Pak Cahyo. Silakan berdiri Pak Cahyo. Nah ini yang dari ilmu komputer, dan yang terakhir tentunya sahabat saya Dr. Adi Prawito. Di sebelah kanan para dosen pengampu ada Pak Eman. Monggo Pak Eman. Nah ini ahli IT-nya Narotama itu. Kemudian Bapak Made, silakan berdiri Pak Made. Kemudian Bapak Hendro dari Teknik Sipil. Nah, kemudian Pak Rizal Bahaswan, ini saudaranya Habib ini. Nah, yang alumni Belanda S2-nya ya. Jadi Narotama ini pengampunya juga dari luar juga, baik PTN, PTS maupun yang dari luar negeri. Tentunya kami ya menyambut atas terselenggaranya acara International Conference ini. Mudah-mudahan di acara Narotama International Conference University ini dapat berjalan dengan baik, lancar, dan menambah keilmuan baik yang disampaikan oleh para narasumber dari dalam negeri maupun tentunya yang dari luar negeri, karena di sini ada 4 negara ya. Jadi 4 negara yang hadir di sini untuk mengikuti acara ini. Untuk itu saya selaku yang mewakili rektor akan membuka acara ini dengan resmi. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, the seminar is finally officially open. We will be back to the remarks of the Dean. Before we are starting with the civil engineering, now we are moving on to the computer science faculty. I would like to invite Dr. Cahyo Darujati STMT from computer science faculty to give a welcome remark.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Distinguished guests, Director of Universitas Narotama, Associate Professor Aras Yalimuddin, the Vice Rector of Universitas Narotama, Dr. Reswanda, the Chairman of the Seminar Committee, Dr. Adi Muhtadi, Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Adi Prawito, Dean of Faculty of Education, Dr. Sugito Muzaki, our esteemed keynote speaker from Pak Yaya Ado Rumah Solusi Indonesia, Prof. Muhammad Fadil Asad from UITM Malaysia, from Prof. Sumin Su, St. John's University Taiwan, and Prof. Zlatan Morik from Algebra Universitas Croatia, and conference participant and both attending in person and virtual, honor guests and kolega. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semuanya. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Good morning and warm welcome to all of you. It is an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the first Universitas Narotama International Conference, held under the theme Synergy of Civil Engineering, Computer Science and Education, Innovation for a Sustainable Future. This conference is significant milestone for Universitas Narotama as we continue to foster international collaboration, interdisciplinary research, and innovative solution for global challenges. We believe that bringing together experts in civil engineering, computer science, and education will lead the meaningful discussion and impactful contribution toward a better future. We are proud to host distinguished speakers and researchers from different parts of the world, and we sincerely appreciate your presence and participation. Your insight and expertise will undoubtedly enrich this conference and inspire future research and collaboration. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our sponsor and partner, including Algebra University, RIT Croatia, and PLN Indonesia Power, for their invaluable support in making this event possible. To all participants, I encourage you to engage actively, share your knowledge, and take full advantage of this opportunity to connect, collaborate, and contribute to our shared mission in sustainable innovation. Once again, welcome to Universitas Narotama International Conference. May this conference be fruitful and inspiring experience of all us. Robi Zidni Inmal Nafian, Warzuki Fahman. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And the last faculty that I would like to invite to share with us today is from the Faculty of Teachery and Educational Sciences with the Dean Dr. Sugito Muzaki SHI MPDI.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang saya hormati Rektor Universitas Narotama, Bapak Dr. Arasi Alamuddin. Yang saya hormati Wakil Rektor 1, Bapak Saleh Muhammad Saleh. Yang saya hormati Wakil Rektor 2, Bapak Reswanda. Yang saya hormati Ketua Pelaksana atau Ketua Panitia Pelaksana, yaitu Dr. Adi Muhtadi. Selanjutnya yang saya hormati Dekan Fakultas Teknik, Bapak Dr. Adi Prawito. Yang saya hormati Bapak Dr. Cahyo Darujati, Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Komputer. Yang saya hormati Bapak Yahya Ado, SSM Hum, sebagai keynote speaker. Yang saya hormati Mr. Zlatan Moric dari Kroasia. Yang saya hormati Profesor Dr. Muhammad Fazil Arsyad. Yang saya hormati Profesor Su Mingsu dari Taiwan. Yang saya hormati Asisten Profesor Martin Zak dari Kroasia. Yang saya hormati para undangan dan peserta seminar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala, pada hari ini kita berkumpul di sini dalam melaksanakan seminar internasional. Mudah-mudahan pada hari ini diberikan keberkahan, manfaat dunia dan akhirat. Terima kasih kepada panitia yang telah menyelenggarakan seminar ini. Semoga kedepannya bisa dijalankan dengan baik dan lancar. Untuk selanjutnya, bahwa seminar internasional ini dilakukan kolaborasi antara Fakultas Pendidikan, Fakultas Komputer, dan Fakultas Teknik, yang nantinya akan menghasilkan yaitu beberapa artikel yang akan dipublikasikan di jurnal masing-masing fakultas. Dan semoga untuk seminar ini akan berjalan dengan lancar. Mungkin dari saya sampaikan terima kasih. Saya akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to enter our main menu of the seminar, which is the keynote session. But before, I would like to invite our VIP guests, all the three deans, and also the head of our Research and Community Service Development of Narotama University, all of them to come on the stage to fill in the hot seat on the stage. So we would like to invite once again all the three deans from the three faculties, including Pak Iwan as the head of our Community Service and Research Department, to take the hot seat on the stage, please. This is the best seat in the house, Pak. And last but not least, also the chairman of the committee, Mr. Adi Muhtadi. We have 5 chairs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. Our first speaker is coming from the educational field. But before I would like to invite him up, I will be announcing the summary of his CV. Mr. Yahya Ado, SSMHUM, is the director of RSBI NTT since 2016 and the founder of Sekolah Alam Manusak in August 2019. Apart from that, he is a book author who has published 4 books, 4 research publications, and more than 20 articles. He is a member of the NTT Academia Forum, the Journalist Media Groups, Alliance for Ending Child Abuse, and the Education Collaboration Committee in NTT. And he focuses on educational development and child protection. Mr. Yahya Ado has been actively working as an extraordinary lecturer in PG PAUD Undana Kupang NTT study program since July 2023 and worked as education consultant for BPMP NTT since March 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first keynote speaker, Mr. Yahya Ado.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Yahya. How's everything?
I'm fine, okay.
Thank you for kindly sharing
it's-
your expertise here in the seminar. You have approximately 20 minutes and the question and answer session will be held after all keynote speaker presenting. Thank you very much and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. It's truly a honor to be here today and speaking in front of such a passionate and dedicated group of individuals who share the common goals, improving education for better futures. This is, I call, new learning journey because we learn not only from interdisciplinars, but intradisciplinars from the engineering faculty, computer science, and educations. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to organizer Narotama University for this very great opportunity. I also want to acknowledge all of you, Pak Rektor, Pak Dekan, 3 decans with us now, and the head of Community Service and Research, all lecture, education, policymaker, I think, lecture students, and all participants, and also the very honorable speaker from various countries. Thank you very much. Today, I'm sharing you for one topic about the innovation for sustainability future from education side. And I called this Nurturing Children's Nurturing Futures. I'm starting with a quote. Next. When you change the beginning of life, you change the whole life. I think it's give a philosophy meaning of how we ensure to nurturing children to have best start in life. The early childhood education is a golden life period, which only comes once in our entry life. This is called golden age. So when we invest the right thing in this age period, we invent the future best of children life. So this is very meaningful opportunity to talk together, to think together for our education from the first cycle of children life. Next. I fondly present this education with the SDGs. I think this is a global commit, in United Nations commit from 17 goals that education is integrated with all aspect of life cycle. So we talk about good health, we talk about well-being, we talk about environments, we talk about industry, we talk about globalization, innovation, and etc. It is how we prepare children to live in the futures. So the interesting topic today is about innovation for futures. And the integration of these programs is very common for our understanding that uh, we ensure no one left behind. We need to do education inclusively. We need to do education in quality manners. So we truly hope that our education and all sector of life it start together because the education is like shaped to our uh, whole life. So when we take care education for a good manner, a good kind of education, we starting from our children. It means we're preparing the next generation for the right things. Next. Next. Okay. Next one. Okay. Uh, when we talk about the children and the SDGs in Indonesia, we talk about children right. Education is children right. So how a country and how the entities, how the community to fulfill the children right. It is mentioned, it is promised in SDGs, it's promised in our development planning, in commit in our government, in gross level, also in the village level also has SDGs. So how we ensure the right of the children is fulfillment. And the second is we talk about children as agent of change. For our next golden years of Indonesia, children who are in playgroup now is the adult, is the people who live and who are an actors of the living areas of the century. So how they can make change, how they make ensure the life at that times. For that we need to ensure that we prepare them perfectly. We prepare them accordingly with the next life cycle period. And the third is investment in children's is investment in our sustainability futures. From the family in the small state of the country, family and the government, in the community and in the country, children is the most important life, the most important investment to the brain, to the cognitive, social, psychology, physicals. So we make sure that the investment of children is our best investment in life. And the next is it's about child protection issues, how we protect children from many hazards, from many protection from the safe areas, from the climate change uh, things matter that will attack our children. And also one thing for the identification, birth identification, it's also thing that children in working also the issues that happens in many areas in Indonesia. So we need the education is no one left behind. All inclusive children, all poorest children also need to give chance to the education. And the educations need participation for all stakeholders. We call pentahelix. It's from the governments, community, university, medias, and family also. It's participation work. Education is participation work. So we work together, we achieve together our goals, our missions to the futures. And the partnership means that work together, we think together, we action together to fulfill the right of the children. And this is one of our main purpose of this conference. I think what the partnership for learning, partnership of working, and partnership of doing what next for the best investment of children. Next one. So the best investment in children is about we look for the environments. So how children live in the health, improving children productivity, how children feel well-being in the community, how they develop their cognitive, their psychosocial, and etc. It is something like integration work for holistic and integration for children. So the environment is very important. Water and sanitation also something like how we improve to reduce the illness, to reduce the undernutrition. So the issues of stunting also is big issues in Indonesia. Of course, also in the areas, the poorest area in communities, and some province or district and sub-district. And the talking point is very important. Is about early childhood and development areas. That how we improve the cognitive, how we ensure that children brain is very important to increase, to make it creative, to make a for the seriousity of knowledge, and how we improve the social and psychosocial to develop and reduce the crime for the next risk behaviors. That's how they can improve also their economic activity for the futures. It's like a holistic integrative program that we need together to increase and to develop child developments, and also how to take care of the child environments. Next. Our Indonesian mission also, we know the Indonesia Emas, the golden years for 100 years of Indonesia. So our vision is how the United States of Republic of Indonesia that united, sovereign, advanced, and sustainable. So the important thing is how we develop the human. How we develop the human. In the social side, we do the transformation, including education. We transform the social educations, and how we increase the economy transformation. So when communities live in well-being, in prosperity, so they can give a chance to their children to continue their study, to give children to have something like a dream for what he or she do for the next. And the other things, it's about governance transformation for democracy, for political, and something that all the policy that focus on the children's developments, it's must be first priority. So human development is a first priority, not only for infrastructures, but human development is the first. Next. as my experience in many areas in Indonesia, also especially in the remote area in East Nusa Tenggara, in Papua, in Sulawesi, and etc., I found that many issues happen in education, early education. First is access. Yeah, we talk about access. Access is about how to reach the ECD centers, or access for architect of building of the school, or material to have medias of learning. So from the 84,000, more than 84,000 villages in Indonesia, 29 villages have no ECD centers. So our government is targeting for all villages must have ECD, but we still lack of access. So this is our a big issue also, because there is no access for children, early childhood children, to access the ECD. And the other issue, the participation, the enrollment participation of children for to elementary school, that only 64.79% children who enroll in early childhood follow the ECCD. So the rest is not follow the ECCD for the next education level, for the elementary level. So I think many children still live in their house, or parents bring to their working place, the farmers or in the office, I think. So they will not attend the ECD center. And the next issues is about learning quality. We see that ECD teacher certification is very low, 36.7%. And teachers distribution is also the issues. The main issues also, the teacher of the ECCD graduated from senior or junior high school. This is very common issues in Indonesia. Almost in the province that have low income generates. Quality of learning, a teacher in learning also, the issues, it's like a pedagogy teaching, andragogy teaching, because the quality of teacher only graduated from senior or junior high school, they don't know about how to teach, how to do pedagogic teaching or andragogy teaching. So we need, university need take place to this issue, so we can how to overcome these issues. Literacy, numeracy, and character building, according to PISA, is our Indonesia is also the lowest one. So even several years is increased. Basic skill and competence is also critical issues for that. Critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. It is it's important to think that basic skill for children, for their future life, is important for how they think, how they creativity, how to communicate the idea, and how they work collaboratively. Next. So how we overcome the issues? So with the digitalization and internet based things, I think learning is no limit to time and place. Children now, when we have COVID, we learn that children can learn at home, and learn at farmer, and learn at everywhere that they can learn, and teachers are going to visit the children, or etc. So this is the way we think about the globalization and the increasing of digitalization. Increasing the basic literacy, numeracy, character, and STEAM is also the things that very crucial, because the literacy, numeracy, and character is the basic education that children must have. Because when they know the literacy, basic literacy, numeracy, and character and STEAM, they have a surety of learning. They can dream for their better futures. And the third is a meaningful and joyful transition of ECD to elementary low class. This is our government program, that how we make a transition, how we make a bridge from the ECD center to the elementary low class. We call meaningful and joyful transition of ECCD. And also we have parenting class every month period based on the need of the school, I think. And 30 years of basic education is not only for new government now, but we have heard it for more years ago, for 10, 11 years ago, about 1 year for ECD, one PAUD in every village. This is also the program of government. So we need to continue this as proof that we are serious. We are take important notes for this basic education. And the importance of basic education skill for this foundation. First is religious and good characters. We need to improve this. Language and social, because in Indonesia we have many hundred of
Excuse me,
language.
Mr. Yahya.
Yes.
You have 5 more minutes.
Okay, thank you. So, one more slide, thank you. And we need to teach about emotional skills, how children have emotional, it's important, but I think it's more important than cognitive. So we need emotional skill for that, and motoric and self-awareness for children, and positive learning for long life learnings. This is the 6 basic foundation in our curriculum for transition from the ECCD to elementary school. Next. Okay, so what's the sustainability solution? I think for the Indonesian with very many characteristic of islands, cultures, language, living style, I think we need to adaptation of national curriculum to local and global context. Local context means we need learning about values of culture, values of living context in local, and we need to integrate it to global context, how the globalization happened for today and for the next life period. So our curriculum need to adapt it for that thing, to ensure that we teach the right thing to children. And the second is inclusive of holistic and integrative ECCD service. So we give all children with various needs of learning to attend the ECCD holistic service. So our target is all children should follow the holistic integrated service. The third is ensuring quality of teacher versus quality of learning. Quality of teachers means teachers, we hope that not only graduated from junior and senior high school, but teachers graduated from the university as a teachers. So the quality of learning and can be increased. And adaptive and resilience to the climate change issue. This is a big issue in the global. So we need to learn about the resilience, about the adaptation of the climate change in connected to our curriculum or in a local context, in every local context. And the fifth is preparedness of teacher from the university student. I think we need to give bright futures of our students in university, that when they graduate, they not only can teach in the city or in the community that improve or what to say in this in their living only, but they can go to the rural area to teach the childrens in the rural area. And the last is we hope that our new governments with new development of learning. It's called deep learning. It's meaningful learning, mindful learning, and joyful learnings. This is approach of learning method in our curriculum that we hope this answers all the issues, all the challenges, all all the things that we need to increase for our children learning in the first period of life in ECCD centers. I think that's all my presentation for how we nurturing children for their futures. Thank you very much, and I back to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yahya Ado. Thank you for your kind sharing with us. Let's give an applause for Mr. Yahya Ado, our first keynote speaker. Thank you again. Before we are moving on to our next keynote speaker, I would like to inform that if you have questions or maybe insertion, we will have that session after all keynote speakers finish the presentation. And now we would like to have a photo session with all the VIP guests, including here Mr. Yahya Ado with us, Pak Adi, Pak Iwan, Pak Adi Prawito, Pak Cahyo, and also Pak Sugito. Maybe we can have the photo session down here, not on the stage, maybe? Maybe down here? Mungkin rekan-rekan panitia bisa membantu mengatur pose dan gaya. Oke, boleh calm down dulu ya sebelum difoto ya, dihitung mundur dulu ya, supaya Pak Yahya juga bisa siap. Oke, 3, 2, 1, action. Oke, lagi boleh? Oke. Okay, thank you very much again, Pak Yahya. And everyone from the
Thank you,
VIP
Mbak.
guests, you can go back to your seat. Please be seated on the hot seat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our second keynote speaker is coming from the field of civil engineering. And this gentleman is rather a family to Narotama University because he is actually a regular keynote speaker on so many other international seminars that Narotama University has implemented. And his name is Professor T.S. Dr. Mohfazil Arshad. And before I will invite him to give his presentation, I would like to read the summary of his CV. Professor T.S. Dr. Mohfazil Arshad is exceptionally experienced as Assistant Project Manager with KADA Development SDN BHD Malaysia, conducting construction project in Perak. In 2010, he was appointed as Deputy Director of IIESM and serving the institute for almost 7 years. And in the same time, he continues to serve University Technology Mara at the Faculty of Civil Engineering as Senior Lecturer. In 2017, he has been promoted as Associate Professor and also been assigned to serve as Deputy Dean for Student Affairs for Faculty of Civil Engineering until 2021. As the College of Engineering was developed, he has been assigned to become the head of Student Affairs Division from 2021 until today. He has published around 146 articles in high-ranked journals, paper proceedings, and books. On innovation part, he is holding more than 8 intellectual property rights and 2 patent products. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our second keynote speaker, Professor T.S. Dr. Mohfazil Arshad. Good morning, Profazil. Wait, we cannot hear you, Profazil. Please open the microphone. Still, we cannot hear you. Okay, can you check again, Prof? Because we still see your icon of the microphone is still not active. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, now we can hear you clearly. How are you, Prof? Good
Oh,
morning.
very good. Fine. Thank
I
you.
see that you are wearing a traditional Malaysian garment, yeah? Is there any
Uh,
national day there?
so actually today I have a wedding ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
My sister's daughter are married today, and then
Oh,
I'm in the wedding ceremony, but I'm just coming up for this session. Hopefully we can have this session in a good manner.
oh wow, congratulations. Okay, Prof, you have approximately 20 minutes. The stage is yours.
Uh, okay, before I start the session, I would like to ask an assistant from the
The
organizer
operator
to present, yeah, to
to
present
operate the
my slide.
presentation, yeah? Okay, we
Yeah,
will
yeah.
share your presentation.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much to the organizer, especially to Narotama University. Congratulations for successfully conducting this first international conference. I do believe it was supported by UNICEF and the other participant and to all the participants of the conference. I would like to say thank you very much and congratulations for being with us in this lovely morning. On behalf of University Technology Mara, I would like to say thank you very much to Narotama for inviting me and giving an opportunity and continuing have a collaborations with our university from time to time, as mentioned uh, by the moderator just now. I keep on being invited as the keynote speaker, and I've been very happy to do that and happy to share my thoughts almost every year with the Narotama University. Special thanks to all the head of Narotama, especially Dr. Iwan and others for letting me be with Narotama from I think 2008 and until today. Okay, in this lovely morning, I would like to share my presentations. Can I have the slide?
Okay, Prof. Fazil, we have some technical problem to share your presentation. We are currently trying, but if we are not successful, maybe you can share it directly from your device. But yeah, I think we are okay now. So we can definitely see your presentation on our screen.
But yeah,
Share. Okay, so you can see, right?
yeah, okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, so in this lovely morning, I would like to share some thoughts which I have been working on since 2022. Where in 2022, I have been granted by Petronas, one of the oil and gas company in Malaysia, who are seeking an idea on how to utilize the carbon dioxide from their industry to be something valuable that they can sell and then they can use for their operations. Uh, In this project, actually, I've been capturing the carbon dioxide and then I install it into the concrete technology. So, in this lovely morning, I would like to share on a topic of reducing carbon footprint in constructions toward a greener future in the building constructions. I am Professor Latong Fadil Arsyad. As been mentioned by the moderator just now, before this, I am the Assistant Director of ISM, and I just been appointed as a director to ISM last January 2025. So next slide, please. So I would like to give some introduction on what ISM is all about. ISM is stands for Institute for Infrastructure Engineering and Sustainable Management. Means to say that we are a research institute and also a consultation institute who are conducting an infrastructure engineering and sustainable management research, consultations and training on the topic of infrastructure engineering and sustainable management. Our niche area of ISM is green infrastructure materials. We need to say that we are dealing with all consultation, research, and training on green materials, on infrastructures, and on the materials for construction engineering as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is some of the work have been carried out through this January and February, where we are dealing with industry, we have a meeting with industry, including concrete, timber. We are also do some sort of structure integrity. We are developing a new product, as I mentioned just now, ECOP. ECOP is the one of the product which is present in the slide. That is the product successfully produced from the research which granted by Petronas. ECOP is one of the product that we successfully produced in capturing a carbon dioxide into a solution, and the solution is being used in producing a concrete. Instead of that, we are also becoming an advisor to the industry in producing a green technology material. We are also having some sort of MOU and then MOA with the industry, national and internationally. Next slide, please. So let me start our presentations today by giving some views on what is how serious the carbon dioxide is on the construction industry. It has been reported that almost 38% of CO2 emissions in the world was generated from the construction industry. It is big area and we need sustainable solutions to reduce this environmental impact by the construction industry. Just imagine 38% of the carbon dioxide in the world are contributed by the construction industry. Okay, so where the construction, how does the construction industry contribute to the CO2 emission? It is from the materials, from the energy being used in the construction industry, from the transportations that been utilized during the construction process, and the waste management. So, mean to say that we have to bear in mind there is four areas which covers which responsible on the contributions of CO2 in the world throughout the construction industry. I repeat it again, it refers to the materials, refers to the energy, refers to the transportation, and the waste management which related to the construction industry. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so what is carbon footprint? Carbon footprint construction is total greenhouse gases. Okay, so means to say that it is total of carbon dioxide which have which been emission from the construction industry. Therefore, construction of these such as material production, energy use, building need to be carried out, need to be concerned in order to reduce the impact of carbon footprint to the world. Next slide, please. So, as overall, you can see from the slide, the carbon emission statistically in construction out of the 38% is come from the uh, energy use in buildings and communities. Okay, energy use in the construction process. Okay, 11% are coming from the building materials such as brick, timber, steels. Okay, and 8% is come from the cement production itself. Okay, just imagine in our new world today, most of our construction or our building are using a cement. So for every kilo of cement, it will produce a kilo of CO2. All right. So this is the statistically on how much the carbon emission contributed by the construction industry. Is that this? Okay. So the impact source of carbon emission, as I mentioned just now, just I want to elaborate more on it. First is from the cement and concrete. Okay, the higher CO2 is come from the clinker production. So in the process of producing a cement, we require a calcium carbonate as the main material in producing a cement. We have calcium carbonate, we have silica, we have alumina, but the main contributor of carbon dioxide in the cement production is come from the calcium carbonate, where the calcium carbonate has to be calcined and a gas of carbon dioxide will be released from the calcination process. Uh, just in order to get the CaO or calcium oxide, because the active calcium was reported produced by the calcium oxide, and carbon dioxide will be released. And this process was conducted during a process in preparing a clinker. Okay, so after we have the clinker, it is in a round shape. Okay, it is in a big size, in a macro size. So in order to reduce the clinker to a powder form, they have to grind the clinker. Okay, the industry have to grind the clinker. So the process of grinding a clinker need an energy, need a big amount of energy. So this energy also contribute to another value of carbon dioxide emission to the environment. Okay, so the machinery sites operations and the transportation on site is also contribute to the emissions of CO2 through the burning of fuel. And then we also have a steel and aluminium. So in order to have a steel and aluminium, we suit to the needs of structures requirement. They have to melt the steel. They have to produce an aluminium. With the melting and production of aluminum steel and aluminium, also another ways of how the carbon dioxide was produced during the process of constructions. And instead of that, even we are producing a new construction or we are demolishing an old building to become a new construction project, the process uh, of demolishing the waste is also required another percentage of carbon dioxide being emission to the world. Okay? So the construction waste generate almost more than 40% of landfill waste globally. Okay? So this is talking about the landfill waste. Okay? So as for now, most of the waste from the construction industry just be dumped into the landfill. It's like this. So this is some of the source of on how we are getting the carbon dioxide from the construction industry. Okay, so as referred to carbon footprint in cement and concrete industry as it is. Okay, as I mentioned just now, we have materials, we have the construction process, we have the uh, waste management. Okay, and this slide is focused on the materials itself. As I mentioned just now, the production of cement is producing a million tons of CO2 as a million ton of cement being produced. Okay, just for your information, overall, for every kilo of cement produced, it will produce a kilo of carbon dioxide. Okay, for every kilo of cement produced, it will produce a kilo of CO2. So just imagine to build a house, one house, you may require almost one, almost more than almost 100 tons of cement means to say that we are producing 100 ton of carbon dioxide being released to the environment. So, as I mentioned before, how we can get, how the carbon dioxide come from? It's come from the limestone or calcium carbonate, which calcium carbonate being calcined, and during the calcination process, they will release the carbon dioxide. After that, they have to grind the calcine, the grind the clinker. The grinding clinker process also requires a high energy to transform a coarse clinker size to a micro nano size of cement, which is in the powder form. Okay, so how we are going to overcome this problem? The solutions that we are working on it is use low carbon cement, and then we have to use alternative binders, and we may also a CO2 curing techniques, and we may also a CO2 carbon captures program. Okay, so in order to lower the carbon in the cement production nowadays, the engineers, the scientists have successfully produced cement, a new type of cement. They call it a blended cement, where the cement have been replaced. The ordinary poly cement has been replaced by the waste material almost 50%. Okay, so with that we can cut down almost 50% of the CO2 productions and emissions. Okay, so instead of that, we also have other alternative binders instead of cement. Nowadays, we have a geopolymer material, geopolymer technology, where this geopolymer technology also contribute to a lower content of carbon dioxide or a lower content of cement being produced. Okay. Instead of that, we may also have a CCU program, carbon capture and utilizations program, where the carbon being captured into a concrete, into a cement, into a construction materials, and then we store it into the system, and then it will reduce the emissions of CO2 in the world. It's like this. So that one is on the uh, materials of cement. And what are the reduction strategies in reducing the carbon footprint? We can use a low carbon material, as I mentioned just now. In your ITM, we are producing a COP, and then we are in the process of marketing a COP. Actually, there's already one company in Malaysia who are showing an interest to become a production a company who are going to sell the ECOP. ECOP is stand for acid carbonate. Okay, so this acid carbonate actually was produced through the integration process of carbon dioxide into a specific solutions, where we are successfully capturing almost 20% of CO2 into ECOP, and then this ECOP will be used as a water replacement material in producing concrete. Okay, we also can use low calcium cement as using the fly ash. Okay, and then we may also using a recycled aggregate as part of the process of initiative in reducing the carbon footprint to the construction industry. Okay, instead of that, we also can reduce the carbon footprint through the efficient construction, and where we can have a pre-foundation, we can have a modular construction system, and then now we are in the era of AI, artificial intelligence, where the AI can help the manufacturer to produce a very specific quality of concrete as required by the client without wastage or reducing wastage in their production. Instead of that, we can also reduce the carbon footprint to the renewable energy integration. As what we mentioned just now, in our normal construction industry, we are using a fuel in transporting materials, in operating the machineries. But nowadays, people are start having machineries using solar panels, wind energy aside, and as what we have in the road nowadays, we have EV car, and we do believe that the EV technology also will come to the construction industry, where the machineries, okay, will be generated by the EV as well. Then we may also have a smart design and planning. I do believe that in Indonesia, we are already working on the building information modeling, where this modeling will be very successful, to be utilized as a technique or as a machine tools to optimize the material use, optimize the design of buildings, uh, and also optimize the utilizations of power in the construction industry. Next slide, please. So, next slide, please. So this is a part of the initiative that been carried out. We have the green concrete. Okay, I mentioned just now in the ITM we are producing a COP, and me myself is in the process of producing a new type of materials as the additive to the concrete. Okay, we are now working uh, on the foundry side. We are also working on the slush field, and we're looking on that potential to be used in the production of green concrete. We also can use on the recycled aggregate. As I mentioned just now, we have a foundry sand. Foundry sand is also considered as a recycled aggregate. Okay, because before this, people are just thinking of recycled aggregate is coming from the aggregates from recycling and aggregates from the demolishing building. But the demand or the supply of the material is quite difficult to get. So we have to find another way on how to utilize on how to get the recycled aggregate. I've been working with Medan University where we are working on the bottom ash to be used as a sand replacement material or fine aggregate replacement material in producing a lightweight concrete. We are also working on the palm oil aggregate, and we are working on the palm oil clinker aggregate where the clinker is identified as a potential material to be used as an aggregate in producing a lightweight concrete. Okay, that will be some of the examples that I've been work on to produce a recycled aggregate. We are also working on timber and bamboo. Last time, Dr. Iwan, Pak Iwan, have come to my university visiting my lab. He can see that we are working on timber, and after that, I've seen that Narotama also start working on timber and bamboo, where they are successfully producing, if I'm not mistaken, is a glue laminated uh, bamboo. Congratulations to Narotama for successfully producing that glue laminated bamboo. And we are looking forward for collaborations in the time to come. The good things about bamboo is because bamboo is a fast growth plant where we can chop it down and it will come it again, and then the supply of bamboo will not be depleted due to the plantation process and the successful of generating new type of bamboo, more strength and more fibers, which required by the
Excuse
construction
me,
industry.
Prof. Azil,
Sure.
you have
Right.
5 minutes left.
Thank you for the reminder.
Oh,
And we also have
okay.
a geopolymer concrete. We also have geopolymer concrete, new type of concrete, new type of binder that not a single cement used in producing a geopolymer concrete. So this will be a way forward of construction industry in reducing the utilizations of cement. Next slide, please. Okay, so role of carbon capture in construction will be benefit to reduce the emission, enhance the durability of construction material, and the potentials of carbon tax saving. Okay, and as I mentioned before, that carbon tax will be promoted or will be given by the government. So by having this carbon capture process program, they will reduce the potential of carbon tax saving. It's like this. And then the circular economy through the construction, reducing waste and recycling material will be a way forward in the construction industry in reducing the depleting of raw materials. We also close loop material usage, reducing demolishing of concrete and steel is now being progressively active in the construction. As Indonesia, as a big country, I do believe that this material or this waste is very big amount in Indonesia and we can use it in the construction industry. We are working on the modular construction process, modular production program. Okay, maybe this is also another area that we can work on. Now it will more popular to be called as the tiny house. Then we also have a deconstruction instead of demolitions to recover materials. Next slide, please. And then energy efficiency, I mentioned just now, inside we are start using a solar, wind, biofuel, and EV as well. We may have the smart building technologies, okay, where the sensors being used, and then the passive design strategies, okay, where the natural ventilations and daylight will be considered during the designing the building. So through all this process, we can reduce the emissions of carbon through our work. Next slide, please. So that in terms of transportations, we mentioned just now we can have a EV transport. Also, we can have a local sourcing, okay, reduce emission from the material transport. So I do believe that Indonesia have a lot of materials to be used in the industry in the country. So it can reduce emission, and we can also use a digital supply chain management to minimize waste and delays due to the management and meeting process. It's like this. On the business and economic benefit, it will lower operational and material costs, increase market demand, compliance with carbon tax, and contribution to net zero emission goals. It's like this. And future trends in low carbon construction, we are having in AI, digital twins coming. Self-healing concrete is also another area. I've been teaching on the self-healing concrete in my university. So maybe one day I can share with all of you on what's self-healing concrete and how we are going to utilize the self-healing concrete. We also advance in carbon capture, large-scale industrial CO2 stations, and the hydrogens and alternative fuels, cleaner power for constructions. So all of these topics will be covered, inshallah, from time to time by me. I will share this kind of knowledge with you in our next talk if I've been invited. Next slide, please. Okay, and then as a conclusion and call to action, reducing carbon footprint is crucial in construction. Okay, so we can use a low carbon materials, energy efficient design, and circular economy approach. So these will be three key solutions that we should focus on for civil engineering in futures. Okay, so next step, we have to do a research and adopt carbon neutral technologies. We have to implement carbon accounting for projects, and we have to support the policy for green building certifications. So with that, I think this will be the last slide from me. Next slide, please. And thank you very much for your attention. Hopefully that this new vision, new technologies we have to work on and be prepared for it. As a university, Narotama University, I believe to become a frontier of this technology to the Indonesia and to the world as well. So I open myself to collaborate and to work together with all the participants, especially in developing and in supporting this program. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's give a hand from Prof. Fazil. Marvelous. We never know that the concrete that we are using is actually emitting CO2, yeah? Wow, there is something that we learn the very bit from Prof. Fazil among so many others. Thank you again, Prof. Fazil, for sharing. We will be inviting you next year in our seminar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our third speaker coming all the way from Taiwan. And this university and also the gentleman that will be our speaker is actually still working with us for a double degree program that we are having for civil engineering major. Now, I would like to invite Prof. Shu Ming Su, but before he can start this material, I would like to again read his summary of the CV. So Prof. Shu Mingzu served as special assistant to the chairman of LNK Engineering Group, RSEA Engineering, Chief Sustainability Officer, Chief Technology Officer, Chief of Legal Officer, and in the same time, devoting his expertise in St. John University of Science and Technology, Taiwan, as a young professor. He is also the chairman of the Sustainable Development Committee of the Taiwan Civil Engineers Association, International Professional Engineer, and APEC Professional Engineer. He has a vast experience in doctoral research in Construction Engineering Center of University of Karlsruhe, Germany, which is funded by the National Science Council. And as practitioner, he took some strategic role as the general manager of Sinotech Engineering Indonesia Company, special assistant to the general manager of Sinotech Engineering Consulting Company, planning manager, technical manager, and engineer from 1992 to 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker, Professor Xu Ming Zhu.
Yeah,
A very good morning, Prof. How are you?
yeah, it's fine.
Ni hao ma?
大家好, good morning,
Yeah, good
ladies
morning.
and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you here in the seminar. You have approximately 20 minutes. The stage is yours, Prof.
Okay, I'm Shisu Min. I'm from Taiwan. It's my honor to join this seminar online. Okay, I'm appreciate just now introduce my CV is more detailed. And today I want to present the topic is about the Taipei MRT. So this content next page. Okay. This picture is a Taipei MRT line. It's already operation. It's very convenient and clean and popular for the citizen. Actually, I take MRT for transportation for every day. Next page. Now we still have some line to design and construct for Taipei MRT. For example, you can see the yellow line. The yellow line is like a circle. Now it's still design and construct. And the other line, the color is the light green. We call it 万大线, is still on construction. So when all the lines are finished, they will become more convenient and more popular for citizen and the traveler. Okay. Sorry. So it's okay. So next. Okay. Today I want to discuss about this project 万大线. As we know, this project is an underground station. In general, underground station is using by cut and cover method. And between the two stations is using the tunnel method. As we know, the alignment is straight. All the radial curvature more than 200 meters is not so difficult to build. However, in this project, because some space limit, so you can see the red circle. In here, the curvature is only 50 meter. So it's become more difficult to build. Next. Okay, you pass. Let's, okay. And for the geological, this place is the clay. It means the softer soil and the high ground water. So it's increased. This the project is become more difficult. Next. So during the design, we have some key issue should be considered in the construction of the step curb. For the shaft tunnel. For example, calculation of over the excavation, mitigation ground settlement, selection of the ring segment and ring segment deformation, and etc. We have so many issues to be seen, to be considered and overcome. And this issue is for your reference. Next. Okay. So we want to resolve this problem. So we use the double forward submarine ship machine to run this operation. Its advantage is a high feasibility, precise orientation, adapt compress the geological condition, and reduce the construction risk. Next. Actually, this TBM is already used some country like Hong Kong, Japan, Singapore. But in Taiwan, is the first we use the double forward, the shared machine to run this project. Next. So we still have some construction technology to simulation. For example, the requirement forward angle and the requirement excavation amount, we should be under control. Next. So besides the technology, now I also want to share some creative design. It's mean environment friendly, the design. First, we use the sunlight simulation analysis. The installation lightning can by the bend shaft from outdoor. So from this picture, you are easy can see. On the daytime, the sunshine can go through from bend shaft. Next page. The project, the entrance is very close. The entrance is very close. The elementary school. So in the entrance in the school, we set out the solar panel. So it's for the renewable energy. For this picture. Next. As we know, the cement is a high produce the carbon dioxide. So in this project, we use the SCC self-compact concrete to reduce the carbon dioxide. The population just like this picture for your reference. Next. And we also use the butterland, the material, to instead of the cement to reduce the carbon dioxide. Okay, next. So I have one video. If later we have a free time, still have time, we just play the video. It's easy understand. The project is more difficult. Okay, next. Yeah. Okay, sorry, not finished. Still have a. Next. Okay. Now the conclusion. Okay. The double forward, the shell machine engineering, the technology is used to overcome the more difficult the project. And also is a very important training construction personnel, strategy and the method of construction management, and environment-friendly design. So now this is the project. The structure is already finished. So I just mentioned it's more difficult and challenging. So this is the project. We get the award last year. Next. Okay. So this is about the Jakarta MRT line. The several years ago, I also have a chance to cooperate with your engineering for the Jakarta MRT. So I think in the future, the Jakarta MRT will develop. And now the Senzong University also have the Indonesia, the student to come to the Central University to study. So when we training and educated, they graduate, I think they will become the good and the engineer. So the picture is last week I take the Indonesia, the student come to the construction site to visit this project. So thank you for your attention, and you are welcome to visit to Taipei, Taiwan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. And we know that we still have one video to play, so we will play the video. Yes.
Okay, it's a Chinese version, but I can translate. Okay, just only 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard the prof. You are all invited to Taipei to visit St. John University, our partner there, and maybe you would like to meet our students. We have 5 students from Bachelor degree of Civil Engineering that is now conducting double degree study. They will also have 2 years working contract under LNK Construction. Okay, this is the video.
Yeah.
由于发进井空间有限，前盾需按照组装方案依次下井。主机部分按照前盾下分块。
So it's because the space limit.
主驱动。
Now is the shaft machine to assembly.
前盾上分块。刀盘。螺旋机前半段。
So assembly is more complicated.
中盾下分块。中盾上分块。盾尾一下分块。
The shell machine.
H 架。盾尾一上分块。环片架设机。螺旋机后半段。盾尾二下分块。盾尾二上分块，依次下井组装。后续台车部分按照6号至1号台车连接桥依次下井组装。
So this is the support. That is the double machine instrument.
组装完成后，安装发进反力架。前盾机调试完成后进行发进，在盾尾中预先拼装好临时环片，通过推进油缸把环片推出盾体，并压紧在预先安装好的发进架上。待前盾机前进1环环片宽度时，继续安装下一临时环片。当前盾机刀盘距离洞门1.0至1.5米时，停止推进，人工完成发进洞门的凿除和密封安装工作。前盾机向前推进，当后续台车都进入隧道后，停止掘进，拆除临时环片和发进架。
And now remove the temporary the instrument. Okay,
前盾机进入半径50米小转弯地段，此时通过前后中折油缸动作，使机头完成右转。
Curvature. So we use the double fold machine to control.
使用铸铁环片完成该段隧道的拼装。
Actually, in this place, the lining is the different from the is by
同时，土舱内渣土通过螺旋输送机运至渣土泵，并通过渣土泵泵送至土桶，完成出渣。
Okay, I hope this video is for all of you to easy to understand. This project is more difficult. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Let's give an applause for Professor Xu Mingzhu. Amazing. Okay, thank you, Prof, for the sharing with us today. And Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on to our next speaker. We have the last two keynote speakers coming from computer science field. Okay, I would like to first announce the short CV of our next keynote speaker. Coming from Croatia, from Algebra University, Professor Zlatan Moric is currently the head of the Department of Cyber Security of Algebra University, Croatia, where he is also the program director of the cybersecurity studies. Industrial certificates in the field of computing, as well as publications in high-ranked journals. As a member of the working group of the Croatian Employers Association, or HUP, for cybersecurity, he actively contributes to the development of strategies and policies in this key domain, including the transposition of NIS2 into local law. His dedication to education is also evident through many projects. One of them is within the IPA project. He participated in developing the curriculum for the secondary school computer science program and was the team leader in developing 20+ occupation standards in the field of electrical engineering and computing within the Croatian Qualification Framework, or CQF. His professional work is focused on projects and education in the areas of cybersecurity, data science, and artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Zlatan Moric. Applause, please.
Good morning.
Now, since the time
evening,
difference between
everyone,
Indonesia and
the
Algebra
opportunity to
or
speak at this
Croatia is
conference.
quite
My
big,
name
it's
is Zlatan
around
Moric,
8 or 9
and I have
hours.
been teaching
He
at
is kind
Algebra
enough
Bernays
to
University
have his
almost 20
presentation
years.
recorded for us
Currently,
to
I
play.
am a head of
Can you start
cybersecurity
from the beginning,
department,
please?
and I am specialized in cybersecurity and data. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to speak at this conference. My name is Zlatan Moric, and I have been teaching at Algebra Bernays University almost 20 years. Currently, I am a head of cybersecurity department, and I am specialized in cybersecurity and data science. Today, I want to discuss how Croatia had approached cybersecurity, the evolving cyber threats landscape, and the crucial role and the higher education plays in illustrating national cyber resilience. Cybersecurity is no longer just a technical issue, it's a matter of national security, economic stability, and the public transport. Cyber threats has become more sophisticated, frequent, and disruptive, targeting critical infrastructure, financial systems, and even the democratic process. Governments worldwide are now prioritizing cybersecurity strategies and regulation to counter these threats. As we explore Croatian cybersecurity model, we will identify the best practice that can be adopted by Indonesia. My goal is to provide insight that can help strengthen cybersecurity policies, education, and national preparedness in Indonesia. Let's start with an important question. Why does cybersecurity matter today more than ever? The scale of cyber threats is unprecedented. We are witnessing an increasement in ransomware attack, national state cyber warfare, data breach, and financial frauds. No country is immune, and both public and private organizations are at risk. Also, cybersecurity is essential for economic and national stability. Attackers on critical sectors like finance, healthcare, energy, and telecommunications can disrupt the entire economy. A strong cybersecurity posture is necessary to protect infrastructure and maintain business continuity. Also, regulatory compliance and international cooperation are growing priorities. Governments and business must align with the global cybersecurity standards such as European Union NIS2 Directive, GDPR, and Cybersecurity Act to strengthen resilience. Indonesia, as a growing digital economy, can benefit from lessons learned in European Union and Croatia. Also, as I mentioned, higher education plays a critical role. The demand for skilled cybersecurity professionals is rising, and universities must lead in providing practical hands-on training to build the next generation of cyber defenders. So basically in this presentation I will cover cybersecurity best practice in Croatia, how Croatia has developed its national cybersecurity strategy and how it's aligned with European Union regulation. Also the cyber threat landscape, so key cyber risk affecting Croatia, Europe and lessons applicable to Indonesia. Also the role of higher education, so how universities are contributing to cybersecurity workforce development, and I will talk something about a recommendation for Indonesia, how Indonesia can enhance its cybersecurity strategy, workflows and policy based on lessons from Croatia and the European Union. So let's begin with an overview of Croatian cybersecurity framework and best practices. So, as the cyber threats became more advanced and widespread, Croatia, following the European Union, has implemented strong cybersecurity policy and regulation to prioritize critical infrastructure, businesses and citizens. The NIS2 directive, adopted by European Union, is a major update to original NIS directive, aimed to expand cybersecurity obligation for critical industries. So it includes a wide range of essential and important entities such as energy, transport, healthcare, banking, public administration, ICT providers, even academia. Also, organizations must adopt a risk management measure, including incident prevention, detection and mitigation strategy, and also companies must report cyber incident within 24 hours, ensuring the rapid response and coordination defense against these threats. So this directive sets minimum cybersecurity standards across European Union, and Croatia is implementing an NIS2 directive into national cybersecurity framework through Cybersecurity Act and a complying regulation. Also, the European Union Cybersecurity Act strengthened Europe's cybersecurity framework by introducing a unified certification scheme for digital products, services and processes. So it's established a standardized certification system to ensure that the IT products and services must meet higher security standard. Also, the European Union Agency for Security, or ENISA, now has a permanent mandate to help European Union member states manage cybersecurity risk. Also, certification scheme ensure that cloud providers, software vendors and ICT suppliers follow the best practices to reduce security vulnerabilities. So for Croatia, this means align national cybersecurity certification program with European Union-wide standard, ensuring a consistent approach to cybersecurity risk management. Also, the Digital Operational Resilience Act is a specific cybersecurity regulation for financial sector, ensuring that banks, insurers and financial service provides the widespread cyber threat and operation disruption. So basically it's regulate financial organization to implement robust IT risk management policies, establish strict incident response obligation for cyber threats affecting financial market. Also, it's ensured that financial institutions access cyber risk from third-party services such as cloud computing and IT vendors. Also, it mandates regulatory compliance related to some standards. So basically in Croatia we have Croatian National Bank and Croatian Financial Service Supply Agency, which are responsible for enforcing DORA compliance with the country's finance sector. To align with cybersecurity regulation, Croatia has introduced its own Cyber Act and cybersecurity regulation, which defined responsibilities of key cybersecurity institutions. So basically, we have a new National Cybersecurity Center, which will oversee the implementation of cybersecurity policies and crisis management. Also, from past time, we already have National CERT, which handle incident response to the private sector and academic institution, and also for financial sector. And we have Information Systems Security Body, which is responsible for cybersecurity certification and audit in government institutions. Also, very important part is that organization must perform regular cybersecurity risk assessment and ensure compliance with NIS2 requirements, and also with centralized National Incident Response Platform, PIXI, which is part of a national CERT, enable faster detection and coordination to respond to cyber threats. So basically, by enforcing these measures, Croatia is ensuring greater national cyber resilience, reducing the risk of cyber attack on critical infrastructure and businesses. Also in February 2024, Croatia enforced the Cybersecurity Act, allowing national legislation with European Union NIS2 directive. So the Act provides comprehensive framework for strategic planning and decision-making in cybersecurity, defining procedure and measure to achieve a high level of security for essential and important services. It's also outlined classification criteria for entering entities and establishing requirement for cybersecurity measure and oversight mechanism. Act include a classification system for entities based on their significance. So we have essential entities, which organizations who serve critical to social and economic function, and we have also important entities, which are organizations with sustained impact but not critical one. Those classifications determine the strength of cybersecurity measure and oversight application to each entity. So the Act mandate that both essential and important entities implement robust cybersecurity risk management measure and complied with incident response obligation. Later, to operationalize the Act, the cyber security regulation was adopted 3 months ago, and this regulation specifies criteria for entering classification. So basically there you can find detailed parameters to identify and categorize essential and important entities. It's defined cyber risk management measure. So basically we can find obligation for entities to conduct a regular risk assessment, establish security policy and implement security controls. It provides detailed information about incident response protocol. So this is a set of guidelines for timely reporting of significant incident to competent authorities and maintain incident registry. So these provisions ensure a standardized approach to cybersecurity across all sectors, enhancing national resilience against cyber threats. Operational execution of cybersecurity measure involves some key institutions. So we have National CERT as a department with Croatian Academic and Research Network is responsible for preventing cyber threats and safeguarding public infrastructure system, academia and the financial sector. So basically it's handle cybersecurity incident involves entities with the .hr domain or Croatian IP address range, etc. And beside the National CERT, we have National Cybersecurity Center, which is established with the Security and Intelligence Agency. It serves as a central state body for cybersecurity. It coordinates national effort, managing large-scale cyber incident, and oversees the implementation of cybersecurity policy. So this diagram provides a structure overview of Croatian cybersecurity governance framework, illustrate the key regulation body, operation entities and coordination mechanism that ensure national security resilience. So let's break it down step by step. So I already mentioned the National Cybersecurity Center, which play a central role in development, coordination and implementation of cybersecurity policy in Croatia. It's responsible for overseeing government cybersecurity policies, managing CERT and CERT for the public sector, coordinating CERT services across most NIS2 sectors, leading the National Vulnerability Monitoring Team, operating the National Security Operations Center under the SCOUT system, which exists last 5 years. And basically this is the single point of contact for cross-border cybersecurity incident. Also, the national CERT is responsible for cybersecurity in private sector, citizen research and education and finance, and it also serves as the primary incident response unit for non-government entities. Also, it's a single point of entry for cyber incident notification. I already mentioned the Pixie platform, and the National Coordination Center for Industry, Technology and Research in Cybersecurity, or NKS, foster research and innovation in cybersecurity. Also, very important part is this, which is Security Bureau, which overseeing cybersecurity certification and accreditation. So basically, it's a legal entity, must comply with national and European Union security regulation. Mandatory NIS2 audits and conduct the government and essential sector organization. Additionally, the military CERT ensures cybersecurity for defense sector, recognizing cyberspace as an essential domain for military operation and defense policy. Also, cybersecurity governance in Croatia is further strengthened by various regulatory body and agency. So, as I already mentioned, we have Information System Security Bureau, which oversees cybersecurity certification, technical evaluation and compliance. We have Croatian Regulatory Authority for Network Industries, which regulates public electronic communication, postal services, Rail Security Directive. We also have Croatian National Bank, which is responsible for cybersecurity regulation in the banking sector. So basically, it's enforcing DORA compliance. We have Croatian Financial Service Supply Agency, which supervises cybersecurity in financial marketing institution. We also have Ministry of Justice, Public Administration and Digital Transformation, which oversees trust services and digital identity security under IDS regulation. We also have Croatian Civil Aviation Agency, which ensures cybersecurity with air transportation system. We have Ministry of Interior, which play a crucial role in combating cybercrime and securing critical infrastructure. We also have Office of National Security Council, which function as NSA body overseeing government security and intelligence cybersecurity effort. So basically, they are mostly focused on information security. Together, these institutions establish a multi-layer cybersecurity government structure that align Croatia with European Union Cybersecurity Directive, particularly NIS2 and DORA. So this governance mode ensures that Croatian cybersecurity framework is aligned with European Union regulation. So this diagram illustrates the cybersecurity governance escalation framework in Croatia, outlining the different level of responsibility and how cybersecurity incidents are handled at sectoral, operational and strategic level. So the escalation process ensures a structured response to cyber incident ranging from routine management to the full-scale crisis intervention. At the foundation of cybersecurity governance, we have the sectoral and functional competencies of different government body, regulatory agencies and critical infrastructure operator. So this level is responsible for everyday cybersecurity operation, including monitoring threat, enforcing security measures and handling minor incident within individual organization. Each regulatory or operational body applies cybersecurity policy and compliance measure based on national and European Union regulation. If an issue exceeds the capacity of the sectoral entity, it's escalated to the next level, so basically it's go to operational level. The operational level is responsible for coordinating national cybersecurity effort and response to major cyber incident that require multi-agency cooperation. So basically some primary responsibilities are managing cross-sector cybersecurity incident and ensure we coordinate response, conducting threat analysis and mitigation strategy to contain cyber threats, and working with the CIRS team to assess vulnerabilities and provide some technical help and solution. If the situation escalates beyond operational control, such as in the case of national-wide cyber attack or critical infrastructure breach, the response moved to strategic and political level. When cybersecurity incident has the potential to disrupt security, critical infrastructure, or public safety, it is escalated to strategic and political level. Key decision makers at this level include the government leadership and cybersecurity policy maker, national security agency, and intelligence services, and high-ranking official responsible for cybersecurity strategy. So basically this level focus on defining national response strategy for the large-scale cyber crisis, issuing emergency directive to mitigate cyber threats, and merging with international partners for coordinating cyber security defense. So this structure ensures that cyber incidents are handled effectively, escalating only when necessary to maintain stability. At the operational level, the law also supports calling the private sector, the security companies in the private sector and academia to help them to mitigate some major risk income. Also, the cyber threat landscape in Croatia and European Union is evolving rapidly with increased complexity and sophistication of attack. Organizations, governments and individuals are facing an unprecedented number of cyber threats that threaten national security, critical infrastructure and economic stability. Basically, in recent years, state-sponsored cyber attacks have become a significant concern in European Union. These attacks often target government institutions, military infrastructure and private company with the goal of espionage, disruption and misinformation. Also, ransomware remains one of the biggest cyber threats in Croatia and across European Union. A criminal organization and hackers use sophisticated ransomware tactics to target business, hospital and public infrastructure. As organizations increasingly mitigate to cloud computing and digital supply chain, attackers can shift their focus to software vulnerabilities and third-party risk. To mitigate these risks, Croatia and European Union agencies have enforced stricter cybersecurity compliance framework to ensure better security. Also, with the rise of artificial intelligence and automation, new forms of cyber threats emerge. Attackers are using artificial intelligence for the more advanced hacking techniques, automating phishing campaigns and deepfake technology. Also, Europe has made significant progress in cybersecurity through a combination of policy, regulation and some strategic investment through some EU funds. So, countries across European Union have implemented stronger cybersecurity framework, ensuring the government, business and citizens are better protected against cybersecurity threats. One of the most important lessons for Europe cybersecurity policy is the need for strong collaboration between government, private companies and academia. So cybersecurity regulation must continually evolve to address the new threats and vulnerabilities, and the major challenge across Europe is the shortage of cybersecurity professionals. Our university need to play a key role in developing cybersecurity education programs, ensuring skilled workflows for the future. So basically, cybersecurity has become a national priority as the cyber threats increase globally. Higher education play a key role in addressing the challenge by developing academic program in cybersecurity, also providing hands-on training through cyber range and simulation, collaborating with the industry to enhance real-world skills and promoting international partnership to improve cybersecurity education. With the increased number of cyber attacks, governments worldwide are investing in cybersecurity education. Last year we started with our cybersecurity bachelor program, and last 20 years we also provide lifelong learning program, specialized cybersecurity program to meet the growing industry demand in the field of cybersecurity. University must work closely with the industry, and basically when we start to develop our study program, I took like 20 or 30 meetings with major security companies and also some government entities to figure out which skills and competencies they expect from the student which will work on cybersecurity occupation in their organization. And that was my starting point for developing a cybersecurity study program. Also, cybersecurity education must go beyond theory. So we need to teach the students practical skills which are essential. Right now we are in one European Union funded project called Cadmus, where we try to develop the cyber range which will be available for academia. Right now we use some ethical hacking labs and capture the flag competition at university to learn the students all practical skills. Indonesia is a rapidly growing digital economy, making it a target for cyber threats. So to strike cybersecurity, Indonesia must adopt global best practices with developing policy tailored to its unique challenge. So the first and most crucial step is to establish a comprehensive national cybersecurity strategy. So it's a centralized cybersecurity authority should oversize incident response, national security policies, and regulatory enforcement. Also, Indonesia should align its cybersecurity policy with some international framework. Do not start with inventing the wheel. Just use NIS2 or critical infrastructure protection documents, etc., and start from these documents. Also, governments must define clear cybersecurity priorities, including data protection, critical infrastructure defense, and some, let's say, a good risk assessment framework. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, so basically government agencies, private business and academia must work together to strengthen cyber defense. They need to provide some information sharing platforms which should be developed to allow business and government agencies to share cyber threat intelligence in real time. Also, public-private partnership should focus on joint cybersecurity exercise to improve incident response coordination. Also, a strong cybersecurity workforce is critical to defense against cyber threats. Universities should introduce dedicated cybersecurity degree programs with the focus on practical skills, digital forensic, ethical hacking, penetration testing, etc. Also, develop a cyber range and create some capture the flag competition, and also cybersecurity regulation must be strictly enforced to protect national infrastructure and business, so organizations should be required to obtain cybersecurity certification and ensure compliance with some national security standards. My opinion is that all the companies need to start with some asset management, and on top of that at least to have some risk management. And after they make a risk management and business impact analysis, etc., it's on them to find out will they implement some security control or they will just accept this risk. Okay, in conclusion, strengthening cybersecurity requires a holistic approach that includes national strategy development, public-private collaboration, education and workforce training, regulatory enforcement and investment in new technology like artificial intelligence-driven security solution. So basically, by adopting best practices from European Union and Croatia, Indonesia can enhance its security resilience, protect critical infrastructure, and prepare for emerging threats in the digital era. Thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to discuss on how we can work together to create a safer and more secure digital future.
Okay, thank you. Let's give a big applause for Professor. Yes, Now, Algebra University has been working with us previously for Erasmus grants in mobility scheme. So we were sending our student and our lecturer to Croatia, as well as they are sending their lecturer to Narotama University. So still in the same country, now we are moving on to our last keynote speaker. Still from Croatia, we have Associate Professor Martin Zagar. I would like to announce his short CV, his short profile. He is a senior lecturer in the Rochester Institute of Technology, Croatia. He has published numerous publications, including book and book chapters, highly indexed journal articles, conference proceedings, and technical reports. His main expertise is recognized widely in the area of telemedicine, high-performance computing, and multimedia technologies. More specifically, his research is most recently oriented on medical diagnostics to be performed in a collaborative, distributed, and mobile environment, multidimensional compression of medical data, contactless surgery, electronic health record, medical imaging, and other and mobile health application. He possesses an extensive professional experiences, one of which still active at the present is as member of European Union Observatory on the online platform economy. He contributes by providing the Commission with advice and expertise on the evolution of the online platform economy. He is a member of IEEE, AASCIT, American Association for Science and Technology, HighPeak, European Network on High Performance and Embedded Architecture and Compilation, EAIE, European Association for International Education, and Croatian Academy of Science, and as well as editor and reviewer in a couple of highly reputable journals. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our final keynote speaker, Professor Martin Zagar. And yes, for this one, we still have the video because the time difference between Indonesia and Croatia is apparently too big. Okay, please play.
Hello and good morning, good afternoon from Croatia. My name is Martin Zagar. I'm associate professor in computer science, working currently at RIT Croatia, which is international campus of Rochester Institute of Technology here in Croatia. Basically, we have two campuses in capital city Zagreb and in Dubrovnik. And probably, since you have seen me on the list of the speakers, I hope you did a little research about Croatia and about the land beauties and everything, and about the capital city where I'm currently in. So this is Zagreb, but you also have campus, as I mentioned, two campuses in Croatia. So the second one is Dubrovnik, which is even more beautiful. So if you haven't heard about it, just Google for Dubrovnik and you'll see the beauty of it as well. So we are living in a nice country. We are living in European Union, which is quite far away from currently where you are, and it's basically, I would say, a different set of even legal but also business opportunities. So I wanted to discuss with you today my topic on selected, I would say, even experiences in management information systems we do have here in Croatia and in European Union. So just before I start, here is my contact detail, and you can, if you later have any kind of questions or proposals to discuss, so you can easily reach me on this email. I'm sorry not being live here today, but due to the time difference, now when you'll be listening me, it will be around 2 or 3 a.m. So in the morning in Croatia, so it will be a bit dizzy. So this way is, I would say, a bit more convenient for deliver this kind of lecture. So welcome on my lecture on management information systems. So first, to start with, I mean, I do hate definitions, but just to say what the definitions here are and what I would like to encounter today. So first of all, management information system is basically a discipline of, I would say, intersection between and intersection of businesses and business perspectives and computing. And the purpose of management information system is to support organizations in their transitions from it's paper-based work to digitalized, so digital transformation of the systems to some kind of computerized system. So it's not only gluing your JPEG signature to some document, but it's definitely much more. And in that case, so in digitalization of and computerization of the information systems that are currently present in different business structures, the crucial thing is digital transformation in sense of converting the different business data, business approaches, business processes to digital formats. And in this case, and that's why I'm today delivering also this lecture to you in online, in remote mode. So this is also quite important thing, that's remote workforce management, because specifically since I'm IT, I'm computer scientist, in IT world, many of my colleagues, and it's quite popular here, specifically after the COVID-19, remained at least a couple of days per week, but some of them I know they remained completely in remote environments, meaning that you need to somehow manage their work as well if you, of course, need to do so. So that will be a trend, and that will be not only trend in IT world, but in many other different research and business fields where you can do things remotely. Of course, not everybody and every single field can do this, but at least in IT, this is easily doable. So that's why we are now today talking about the management information systems. And this importance across different domains, as I said, it's connecting and it's taking into account the business domains. So, for example, accounting, marketing, financing, then computing and IT domains, from example, perspective of software development, data science, computer networking, that are important. So you combine those two together, but you also have this educational third impact here, which basically is related to skill development, to some kind of career preparedness and so on. So this is I would say the landscape, what we need to fit in, and I will just try to fit with some selected topics to explain maybe a bit more how we do this. So I will have first emphasize on project resource management, and then later next we'll talk about slightly a couple of minutes about the risk management in remote information systems management. So first of all, when we are talking about tailoring considerations, what we need to take into account, we need to take into account diversity, and not only diversity in the background of the team, but also geographical diversity, since again, we are talking about remote IT management, then diversity in cultures and so on. Then industry-specific resources and some kind of special resources you specifically need for that part. So some kind of special servers, some kind of special graphical cards, databases, and so on. Then quite interesting thing is how you're going to acquire needed team members for your project, because again, if you're talking in some kind of remote delivery and management information systems that are in digital way, so digitalized, it would be quite interesting, to do the acquiring process, but also to elaborate what's the difference between the full-time and part-time working on the project, since again, it's not 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 work in the office, right? And then we are talking about the management of the team. So how is the team development managed for this project, and will the team, maybe some teams will need some kind of special trainings to manage diversity between the teams and within that business ecosystem. And at the end, we have different life cycle approaches. So you need to make decision on which kind of life cycle, so regarding the software development you will use. So from the project resource management processes perspective, there are different, I won't go into details, but there are different focuses you need to cover. So for example, from planning of resource management, so how to plan, how to estimate and utilize the team resources specifically in digital world. Then to estimate the activity resources. So one thing is the physical and team resources. The other thing is the type of and quantity of materials that are needed for different activities you manage throughout the project. Then how you are going to acquire those resources. So how you are going to obtain the team members and develop the team. So regarding different skill set, regarding different team environment and working in online teams as well in digitalized world. Also tracking performance. I mean, you have a bunch of different software for tracking performance, like Jira in Agile software development, but it's getting harder and harder to track performance, since again, if you're working remotely in online mode, and you can basically jump into the project at any point in time, so you need to keep track of the performance of any kind of, again, issues you have, and sometimes you need to work in teams, so you need to have interaction with other team members. So these changes to optimize the project performance are important, and controlling those resources altogether. So this is the scope of the project resource management processes we are talking here about. And again, nobody is here, although again, I'm the IT guy in the IT world. People tend to like to be independent, to be somewhere located somewhere, just give me my task and I'll do it. But still, if even in that case, you need to interact with somebody. So even if you're some backend developer, you need to perform in a team, as a team member, in a teamwork. So even if you're here as a lighthouse, you cannot hide yourself. So if you hide yourself, you cannot be a lighthouse. So if you're working on a big project, if you want to lead the project, then you need to be exposed. Simple as that. So back to the team resources. The team project is important because, again, nobody has all of the experience, all of the knowledge on board. So in that case, you need to assign the roles and responsibilities, who is going to work collectively to achieve some kind of shared project goal. And that's of course, in charge is the project manager, who should invest some suitable efforts in acquiring and managing that team. And all of those specific roles and responsibilities are assigned, then you need to track, not just assign, but also track the improvement and involvement of different team members in project planning and project decision making and project execution at the end. So the participation is really important. This is one thing. So how you can track that? You need to track the resources you have for demands for. So you have some kind of controlling efficiently the resources, controlling the risk in the successful project implementation. So, for example, you'll see here in the bullet points, failing to secure critical equipment or infrastructure on time may result in delays, which is of course unwanted, which is something you would like to avoid at all costs, because probably you'll pay some kind of course, fees for those delays. Then ordering the low quality material or low quality software may damage the quality of the product overall. So even though it's not maybe on your part, but if you order some third party software or hardware which is low quality, then basically you will suffer as well. And then keeping too much inventory, keeping too much, people working on software may result in your high operation costs. So it's always like, finding some kind of equilibrium between those two stuff. And physical resources are again needed, even if you're working on a software project. It's needed because, again, here this is this is the brain. This is how we reason, and you always need people who will make some kind of engineering decisions. So this is also, physical resource, the person. Right? So I'll skip this one, but just want to emphasize the importance here in digitalization. The example of just-in-time production, and that's the example you won't now be able to read it because I tend to have the in-person meeting, but basically it's the example of Toyota as a car manufacturer, where basically you have a really high costs of land in Japan, and you need to minimize your storages because storages are of course really expensive to maintain, and you're not basically, you're allowed of course, but you're not able to maintain huge storages there where you store parts of your cars, because you have third-party issues for different parts of the car, right? So where you're assembling those parts together, you're not able to have big storages that will, have your car parts there for months or even years. So from that perspective, you need to have that's called a just-in-time production, to have everything in place in a couple of days where you can store it and so you assemble it and you don't store it. Same, so this is the Toyota just-in-time management, right? But you can basically apply this to any kind of digitalization, any kind of IT project management as well, because here piece of software which is developed should be developed just in time right now and not year before, year after, because we are all working together in the same project. So this is the part of the how to digitalize, what to consider when we are talking about digital transformation in the projects. Now the next part is about the risk analysis on the project, in the sense of what you can do to track the risk and to predict the risks in digitalizations and digital projects that are currently up and running. So in that perspective, we need to discuss and we need to define two different things. One is Monte Carlo simulation, which is basically, Monte Carlo is quite a renewed city in France, known for gambling, right? But here it's basically for predicting some kind of percentages of outcomes. And then based on the Monte Carlo simulation, what you can do as a team lead and as someone who is managing the information systems is a quantitative risk analysis. So let's talk now in a couple of minutes about those two stuff. So first of all, Monte Carlo simulation will let you and show you all possible outcomes for your decisions and assess the impacts, risks, and different kind of percentages for quantitative analysis. So this is one example of Monte Carlo analysis. You'll see that majority for some kind of predefined inputs, the majority of the outputs will be somewhere in the middle, right, of this graph. But there are some weird case scenarios, so 1 in 100, 1 in 200 scenarios that will go somewhere here. So you see here, this one is lonely or all over here. So it's basically risk analysis by building the different kind of modules that are based on your inputs, resulting by different substitutions, and it's important about the probability distribution. So probability that your project will be in this point is really, really low. It could happen, it's higher than 0. So for example, for this point it's 0. But for this point, it's different than 0, it's really low, but that could happen. So from the perspective of risk analysis, your decision is, would you consider that one or not? Okay, so this is the factor of uncertainty, and of course, you can calculate each and every time for different outputs, different inputs for different outputs in sense of some kind of random values or in sense of some real values. So this is what you can do, and this is easily performed in any Excel or any other calculating tool. Very basically, you include the Monte Carlo simulation. So based on the Monte Carlo simulation, of course, you can have, when we are talking back, I'm going back on those random values, you can have different probability distributions for those random values. So for example, you can have uniform distribution, which is probably the most known, which you have the same probability for some kind of discrete functions or discrete outcomes. Then you have one specific version of uniform distribution is Bernoulli distribution, where you have on-off is 0 or 1, right? And you have 50% of chances for both. And then you have the combinations of, you can see here, different probability distributions, variables with different outcomes occurring, with different probabilities on one point and so on. So those distributions are called Poisson, geometric, negative, binomial, and so on. But you can also have, so these are, let's say, continuous distributions like exponential, V-Bool, log normal students. And I would say the most appearing in logical world, this is the normal bell curve, or it's also called the Gaussian curve. So basically, we tend, in majority of cases, and it's applicable to usually to people as well. So we tend to be somewhere in the middle, right? So you can, stretch or squeeze that. So you'll have either students or V-Bool, and then you can, move that normal to left or right. So you have gamma, beta, and so on. But these are the different kind of probability distributions you need to take account as an input for the Monte Carlo simulation, which means that with this, you can then have, put more emphasis on one or some other outcomes here. So I said, I'll leave here for you to discuss, but basically there are some, I would say, more popular, more applicable probability distributions that are used in Monte Carlo. So first one, definitely, as I said, is the normal bell curve. Then log normal, so values are positively skewed on toward the zero, right? It's not symmetrical like a normal, but this one is, for example, represent values that don't go below zero and have unlimited positive potential, but this positive potential is low. Okay, then we have uniform distribution. Again, all values have exactly the same chance of occurring, and discrete, where basically you have some, 1, 2, 3, 4 outcomes with some specific percentages. This is important because during a Monte Carlo simulation, values are sampled and random, depending, of course, on percentages of their occurrences, of their distribution. And each set of samples is called, in that case, iteration. So when you have iterations, you have results and result outcomes from that simple sample that is recorded. And usually what you do is in Monte Carlo, you do the hundreds of or thousands of different iterations, depending, of course, on the simulation and the variables, and providing the comprehensive view of what could happen with, of course, the percentages. So there could be a really low percentage of something that could happen, but at least you know that there is a percentage that something could happen. And from that perspective, so this is the basis for quantitative risk analysis. So for some kind of simulation, sensitivity analysis, decision tree the analysis, this kind of stuff is basically used for decision making at the end. So simulation here is using the simulate combining effects of different project risks. So you do the Monte Carlo analysis for one, then for the second, and for the third individual project risk, and then in simulation you combine everything together. And this typical output includes some kind of histogram presenting the number of iterations, and this is usually called S-curve, representing probability of achieving particular outcomes on your projects that are again combined of different models. So this is one example of Monte Carlo outcome, so S-curve, which basically is showing us that the project here we are working on, if you go with some predicted total project cost of, let's say, 2.3 million, right? And expected is, let's say, 2.35, then you can say with some kind of probabilities and chances. So this is again S-curve. This is the output from Monte Carlo, combined Monte Carlo simulation. You can say, for example, that there is an 85% chance, you see here the histogram, 85% chance of project costing 2.45 million of less, because you see here all these values are below 2.45, and for those values that are below, it's 85% of chances. Or you can see here that if the target is 2.2 million, target of your project cost, then there is a 23% of chances that you can meet the target, which means that maybe you're not standing so good. And then you have here the range of uncertainty. So basically, this is the range where your cumulative probability is differing from 0, and it's between 0 and 100. So you see here, we're starting with 2.0. The range of uncertainty, cumulative probability starts going up from 0. So let's say here is 1, 2, 3, and so on percent. And it's 100% that it will be within 2.5. So the cost of the project will be within 2.5 million euros, which means that this is the range of uncertainty. So between 2.0 and 2.8 million euros. So this is the outcome, and this is really useful when you need to predict something regarding the project, what will happen. And then you have, so beside the simulation, you have sensitivity analysis and quantitative risk analysis, and this is the helping you as a project manager to predict and to determine which individual project risks or other sources of uncertainty have the most potential impacting the project outcome. So you will focus, there will be maybe something that is a main contributor to your risk. So you'll focus on those tasks rather than on some that have lower determination of project risks. And this presents the calculated correlation coefficient for each of the elements of the quantitative risk analysis. So this is, again, including the individual project risks, project activities that are, again, important in sense of contribution to overall project risk. So this is example of sensitivity analysis. The diagram in the sense of, for example, correlation with the project duration. You see here, if you go closer to 1, so you have ranges between 0 and 1, right, and -1 and 0. So this is positive correlation, and in minus, if you go, that's negative correlation, which means that if you go with, you see here, duplicating tests may not be requiring. So if you remove the tests, so as many tests you remove, you'll have a negative correlation with the project duration, which means you will basically cut the project duration. Okay, so it's not prolonging, but it's cutting. Or piling contractor may deliver earlier, hydro tests, so this is from one example, hydro tests may find fewer results. So if you go with negative correlation, basically, if you grow with that factor which has negative correlation with the project duration, basically you will cut the project duration. So this is the sensitivity analysis algorithm or diagram. And of course, if you have those stuff, you will definitely focus more of those activities that have positive and as high as positive it can be correlation up to 1 with those. And the last one is decision tree analysis, which is used to support selection of the best or several alternative courses of action. So you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4 actions, and then to see which one is the best one. So from that perspective, you can have some kind of decision trees. So what will happen if I go with this decision, and then you'll have the outcome? What will happen if I go with the second decision, and then you'll have outcome? So this decision tree analysis, again, is, I would say, something that is used on a daily basis, and it's used for different kind of decision making. So let's see how it works. What you have here is the decision that either you're going to invest $120 million to build a new power plant, or to instead invest 50 million and to upgrade the existing plant. And now, of course, you have some kind of, what if, so decisions and chances, what's for each of those happening. So let's take example. So again, you need to make a decision, build or upgrade. Now, decision to be made is lying on decision nodes. So you have input as a cost of each decision, right? So if so these are the costs you see here, 120 and 50. So if I decide to build a new plant, I need to pay 120. But if I want to upgrade, it will cost me only 50. So far, just try not to see those numbers below decision notes and definitions. Okay, so if you go with the building a new plant, then the chance of strong demand for the, let's say, electricity, it's a power plant decision here. It's a 60%, and in strong demand, we'll earn 200. In case of weak demand, we'll earn 90 and not 200, which means that altogether, if you put, so net PAT value, so if you together put in decision tree with the percentages here, then basically you have here 80 million, because with this you have strong demand 200 minus investment of 120, so it's 80 million, the percentage of 60%. And you have 40% of outcome for minus 30, because again, if you go with investment 120 and your weak demand is showing only 90 of profit, then you'll be minus 30, which means that there is a 40% of minus 30. Same goes with upgrading the plant. So in case of strong demand, it will be bringing you 120, in weak demand 60. So altogether, here is 70 with 60% of chances, and here is plus 10 million with 40% of chances. And then you put that together. So you put those weights here. It doesn't need to be 60-40. It could be any kind of weights. It could be more branches, not just 2. So you put them together. You see here 60%, so 0.6 multiplied by 80 plus 0.4 multiplied minus 30. It will bring you 36 altogether. And this one, so you go back, estimated monetary value. Basically, you go with 60% multiplied by 70 and 40% multiplied by 10 will give you on average 46 million, which means that this is a better chance and better option for this one. Yes, I agree. In some case, you can here earn more, but basically your best chance, what you can get is with the upgrading the plant. So this is just one example of decision tree, and this is again everything is based, as I said, on percentages, on different outputs and Monte Carlo analysis. And how to handle the obvious project risks. So basically, you have those 2 risks, so variability risk and ambiguity risk. So variability risk is basically risk of uncertainty that exists about some key characteristics of the planned event. And they are addressed by Monte Carlo analysis, what we have done so far. And ambiguity risk is basically uncertainty that is about what might happen in the future. So it's managed by defining those areas what could happen in the future, where there is some kind of probable deficit of knowledge, understanding on, and so on. And if you give me 1 more minute, I know I'm a bit longer than expected. Just to give you one example, so you can play later on, and this is the best example of project management decision making, and that's called the prisoner's dilemma, or finding the national equilibrium. So basically, the prisoner's dilemma is showing the following: you have two prisoners that are caught, okay, and now they talk in front of police, and if prisoner A stays silent, so cooperates with prisoner B, and prisoner B stays silent with prisoner A, so they will both serve 1 year. Okay, they will go and be imprisoned 1 year. But then you have options. B betrays A, so A serves 3 years, B goes free. Right? They were both in in that crime, but B betrays A. Same goes with A betrays B. And then if they both betrays each other, they will both serve 2 years. So you see obviously that this is the best option here, because if they both serve 1 year together, they will be 2 years in prison, right? If one of them will betray each other, then basically cumulatively they will serve 3 years. But if they both betrays and BA and AB, then basically it will cumulatively be 4 years, right? So obviously this is the best choice. Majority in real world, we usually end here. And this is the beauty of decision making. So how to make transition from here to here in digital world. So these are some kind of plays. You can make a screenshot and you have the recording, so you can see. But basically, this finding the Nash equilibrium in this prisoner's dilemma is basically called a zero-sum game, and this is happening on a daily basis for many companies in their decision making. So basically, they try to find what is the best activity for everybody included in the business. So any other strategy that is out of the zero-sum game will be, harmful for any player. And here in decision making, basically, this is the message is: be paranoid. Try to minimize your loss by assuming the worst. Okay, so when you're going to choose some of those outputs, try to see what will be your minimization of the loss in that case. So this is the beauty of those games. Here you see the outputs, for example, for this game. So if player 1 choose T and player 2 choose L, so it will be plus 8 for player 1, but minus 8 for player 2. So if you're, for example, player 1 here, and you have options here, if you choose T, then you have 8, 3, and minus 6. So this is again, be paranoid, try to minimize your loss. So this is the minus 6. I'm paranoid, I can lose 6 million. In M, so which means middle, right? Scenario, I have 2 minus 1 plus 3. Okay, so here is the minimum is minus 1. And then if I go with the bottom, so that's why it's B here with the bottom option, I have minus 6, 4, and plus 8, which is again here minus 6. So I have by rows minus 6, here is minus 1, and here is minus 6. And then you try to try to find the maximum of this, and that one is minus 1. So this is my strategy, right? So this is the thing I would opt for, right? So being paranoid, trying to find what are the worst options, and then trying to maximize my profit. In this case, it will be loss, but then I want to minimize, of course, my loss. So in that case, I would do everything to choose M. Okay. So that's the message, and that was a short presentation. I hope you liked it, and I tried to be within some kind of time frames. And in case of any other questions, as I said, and here I'm again sharing my email with you, so please contact me, and I hope we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for having me today on board, and I wish you really successful symposium and conference you're having right now. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Let's give applause for Professor Martin Zagar. Okay, now we have still a question and answer session, and we have our 2 keynote speakers still online with us, Mr. Yahya Ado and Professor Xu Mingzhu. So if you have questions, but I think it can only be directed to these 2 speakers ya. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu sekarang ada pertanyaan atau masukan, boleh, tapi mungkin hanya bisa diarahkan pada 2 keynote speaker kita yang masih aktif, yaitu Bapak Yahya Ado dan juga Profesor Xu Mingzhu dari Taiwan. Silakan, saya buka hanya untuk 2 pertanyaan aja maksimal. Setelah ini kita bisa lanjut lunch. Jadi sabar dulu sebentar. Ada pertanyaan kah Bapak Ibu? Boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia boleh, nanti bisa saya bantu translate. Silakan, silakan Pak, silakan.
Profesor Taiwan. Kepada Prof. Su, bagaimana prospek pengerjaan channel di kota-kota di Indonesia, mungkin di Surabaya, apakah layak untuk dikerjakan untuk membangun MRT di kota Surabaya ini? Gitu aja.
Oke, thank you. Prof. Zu, are you still with us, Prof? Prof. Zu Mingzhu? Hola?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Prof, there is one question from you coming from the chair of our seminar committee. He is asking, in your consideration, is it possible to have MRT project also in Surabaya, remembering our terrain and our geographical landscape? What do you think?
I think now the MRT the system is very popular, so I think the technology is not problem in you. Just you mentioned this place, yeah. So in the PowerPoint, I also just mentioned in the Jakarta, you already have 9 construction and also have the operation. So I think it's in the future is a very because we know the MRT mass transportation is seems like now we always mention about the saving energy, reduce the carbon dioxide. So MRT is a very good transportation for us. So I think it's in the future it will be developed again, even in my country and your country. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Menjawab ya Bapak Adi ya. Jadi karena memang di luar negeri dan di masa mendatang juga pasti konservasi energi itu sangat dibutuhkan. Jadi pasti opsi itu akan berkembang baik di Indonesia maupun di Taiwan. Thank you Prof for the answer. Okay, second question, pertanyaan yang kedua dan terakhir sebelum kita lunch mungkin dari hadirin atau mungkin dari Bapak Dekan atau Bapak Ibu dosen sebelah sana. Ada silakan.
Ya, mungkin sedikit Mbak, mungkin dibantu translatekan ke
Boleh.
Mister itu ya. Jadi untuk rencana kan di Bali akan ada pekerjaan tunnel juga ya, atau MRT ya setelah di Jakarta. Mungkin yang saya tanyakan adalah potensial problemnya ya, atau kendala spesifik yang biasa dialami atau jadi potensial problem untuk pekerjaan tunnel tersebut, terutama untuk mitigasi resikonya seperti apa dan yang sering banyak terkendala untuk pekerjaan tunnel itu seperti apa? Mungkin itu Mbak Wulandari.
Oke, terima kasih. What's your name, sir?
Pak Sartono dari Magister.
Pak Sartono.
Ya, dari Magister Teknik ya.
Okay. So we have another question, Prof. Sumingju from Mr. Sartono. He is asking because he will have tunnel project in Bali. He is asking what will be the common problem or common challenges that will be faced in conducting such project. What do you think?
I think the project, of course, now this technology is a very popular. So just like for Taipei, I just mentioned this case. Actually, the construction site, the geological is not good, and just like a soft soil and high ground water, but we still have the technology to handle. Even in this project, I just mentioned the curvature radius is very sharp, very stiff. So we can choose the different TBM, the double forward machine to control. So I think as I know, now the Jakarta have the project, just the capital, because the climate change. So the sea level will rising. So now the Jakarta, your country have a big project will remove your capital, is right? So like the party, I think just we still need we design the infrastructure. We also not only the technology, we also need to survey the construction site, like geological, the other the environment, it and all the limitation is destruction is okay or not. Then we choose the machine or which the technology to control. Okay.
Okay, is there any special way to mitigate the risk? Prof? Prof, are you still with us? Oke, jadi merekap dari jawaban beliau adalah tidak hanya yang penting tuh tidak hanya kita memilih teknologi yang tepat atau mesin yang tepat, tapi itu juga berdasarkan dari terrain atau landscape yang dihadapi. Jadi ada sinergi antara dua itu adalah strategi yang paling bisa untuk memitigasi risiko sejauh ini supaya proyek tunnelnya berhasil. Tapi tentu saja jawaban yang paling teknis dari beliau pasti harusnya bisa diberikan kalau beliau bisa meninjau ke sana ya Pak ya. Karena kan pasti berbeda ya. Kebetulan mungkin beliau belum bisa melihat, belum pernah melihat, tapi kalau Bapak ingin berkontak lebih lanjut boleh, kami ada emailnya, kami ada kontak beliau, dan beliau saya rasa tidak akan pelit untuk sharing ilmu. J. Oke, ada satu pertanyaan mungkin untuk Bapak Yahya Ado mungkin. Satu mungkin dari teman-teman PAUD. Boleh? Bu Latifah angkat tangan ya itu Ibu ya. Oke, silakan. Pak Yahya Ado, apakah Bapak masih bersama kami Pak?
Ya, masih Mbak Ni.
Oke, terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Silakan Bu.
Baik, terima kasih. Langsung saja ke pertanyaannya. Untuk Pak, siapa tadi? Pak Yahya. Ya, Pak Yahya saya mau tanya. Menurut Bapak, ini menurut Bapak saja ya, kira-kira bagaimana dengan kurikulum pendidikan di Indonesia? Kemudian untuk menghadapi Indonesia Emas di 2045, kira-kira langkah apa yang paling cepat dan paling bagus untuk kurikulum kita di Indonesia, Pak? Seperti yang kita tahu kan kita mungkin agak terlambat dengan negara-negara yang lain. Terima kasih, itu saja. Terima kasih.
Ya, makasih. Saya langsung jawab Mbak Ni.
Ya, silakan Bapak.
Okay. In English or Indonesia?
Indonesia mawon lah.
Indonesia saja ya.
Iya, Indonesia
Baik.
Raya aja.
Baik, terima kasih untuk pertanyaan yang sangat bagus. Jadi kalau kita lihat kurikulum kita selalu secara historis itu orang melihat kalau perubahan pemerintah itu selalu perubahan kurikulum ya. Tetapi kita memang harus memahami kurikulum itu sebagai landasan, sebagai proses administrasi yang harus diikuti oleh semua tingkat pendidikan. Tapi yang paling utama sebenarnya adalah bagaimana cara belajar kita itu sesuai dengan konteks dan bagaimana kita menyiapkan generasi kita untuk masa yang akan datang begitu. Jadi perubahan kurikulum apapun sebenarnya bergantung pada bagaimana kreativitas guru untuk melakukan pembelajaran yang bermakna, pembelajaran yang menyenangkan bagi anak, apalagi konteksnya di PAUD. Sehingga bagi saya tidak perlu merisaukan apapun kurikulumnya, apapun pendekatannya. Yang paling utama adalah kemampuan guru untuk memfasilitasi proses belajar sehingga anak-anak mampu untuk mengikuti pembelajaran dengan baik, dengan bermakna, dan paling utama adalah anak-anak bahagia untuk mengikuti proses pembelajaran sampai nanti dia harus menjalani kehidupan di masa yang akan datang. Jadi kurikulum itu hanya sebagai jembatan saja, yang berjalan adalah kita, proses belajar adalah sebuah proses yang perlu kita desain untuk menyiapkan generasi kita. Saya kira itu, Mbak. Terima kasih banyak.
Baik, menjawab Ibu? Oke, sudah puas. Baik, terima kasih banyak. Thank you for all our keynote speakers for the sharing of the expertise. Oh, we have one more questions. Okay, please, yes. Boleh. Untuk Prof. Hazil. Prof. Hazil, is he still online? Let me check ya. Okay, Prof. Hazil is offline, but we will have the question sent to him via email later on ya. Okay, so once again, thank you for all our keynote speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big hand to our keynote speaker of today. Terima kasih sekali. Okay.
Ya, makasih.
Terima kasih. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we are proceeding to have lunch and break session, I would like to announce your parallel session room. Ya, saya akan mengkondak ini dalam bahasa Indonesia supaya lebih dimengerti. Jadi setelah kita akan ada sesi makan siang dan juga isyoma setelah ini, makan siang akan diadakan di lantai 2. Lantai 2 ya, betul panitia? Ya, di situ. Lantai 3. Oh, lantai 3 baik. Saat masuk tinggal bilang aja dari Narotama, dan kita punya sesi untuk isyoma itu 1 jam Bapak Ibu ya. Jadi tidak molor ya, kita harus kembali. Karena setelah itu akan ada sesi paralel, dan ruangan yang dipakai adalah 2 ruang di atas di lantai 2 untuk teman-teman dari teknik sipil. Kalau nanti Bapak Ibu bingung sekiranya saya masuk ruang yang mana, di atas itu ada 2 ruang, bisa dibantu oleh teman-teman panitia nanti. Nah, di main room ini akan digunakan oleh 2 fakultas, dari Fakultas Ilmu Komputer dan juga dari teman-teman PAUD. Ya, jadi untuk parallel session dari 2 fakultas tersebut ada di main room ini, dan untuk teman-teman dari teknik sipil ada di 2 ruang di lantai 2. Baik. Nah, sekarang waktu sudah menunjukkan pukul 12:05, berarti kita bisa langsung masuk ke isyoma, dan jam 1 tepat sesi paralel akan dimulai. Thank you for your kind attention for the main session, and we will meet again later on nanti saat pengumuman best paper. Kita punya best paper untuk masing-masing ruang, ada 2 juara yang nanti akan kita umumkan di akhir. Oke, ada pengumuman tambahan mungkin? Oke, baik. Ada informasi barusan dari Bapak Kaprodi, ada tambahan mungkin teman-teman sipil, ada juga yang nanti masuk di main room, lebih tepatnya di parallel session teman-teman Fakultas Ilmu Komputer. Jadi sepertinya nanti ada yang digabung, supaya nanti bisa selesainya berbarengan, jadi kita bisa memulai announce untuk best paper bersama-sama. Baik, terima kasih. Sampai ketemu lagi pada sesi paralel dan pengumuman best paper jam 1 tepat, sesi paralel akan dimulai. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu. Okay, and for the keynote speaker, we thank you so much for the attendees and also for the participation and the kind sharing. We will be meeting you again for the next conference, inshallah. And maybe we can have it offline, we can meet face to face. So thank you again for your kind sharing of expertise. And you may go offline now if you would like to, because we will be back only for the best paper awardees. Thank you.
Ya, makasih.